Truth be told, when I wonder what the future holds, it takes me out of the present. New moon waxing, full moon waning, crescent. Life cycles, teammates or rivals. Soul search, dangerous, World War III, the goal's always survival. That's nature, day you're born when you meet your maker. Tears start chasing paper, burning trees or melting glaciers. But truth be told, when I wonder what the future holds, it's impossible to process, so I stay focused on my progress.
Yes, people. Back for another episode of the Triple Captains podcast. Boy, it's been a mad week, I'm not going to lie. A different week too. Starting with a draw for the very first time. There was a draw with me and Art, the man over there. As you guys know, the captain who gets the most point hosts the show, gets the bragging rights and sits in the middle. But because there's a draw, it could be Art sitting in the middle, it could be me. So before I speak more on it, I am in the middle, as you can see. So Art,
I'm a humble
anything
guy.
you want to add?
Nope, I'm humble. I understand the hierarchy of this is that you have the most wins. So I'm cool to take a little back seat on that. But what it does mean is there's bragging rights for both of us. So we can all just laugh at Guffs. So good.
I'm not going to lie. I was a bit pissed that you drew with me because when obviously going into the
What do you
Monday night
mean?
game,
Like, I was more pissed with you. Like, you coming out with all your juju through the game. Oh yeah, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen. Then look at the nonsense that happened. How did the guy come off in 60 minutes with cramp?
But look, I did say but I did say that he was going to score and that you'd catch me. But I was hoping I was wrong. So obviously when he did score, we're talking about Endai for the people that don't know. When he got the goal, I was like, oh no, I'm not going to get it. So when he came off, I was hoping they'll take some of his bonus points away so I can get the, get the W. But I'll take the first draw.
You keep forgetting that God is with me, Like, keep on
you know what it is?
Pray for my downfall. God is with me. Don't worry.
The problem is, I'm now on 6 with one draw. Obviously, the table's there. But the problem is, I wanted to get to 7 because I'm in a race to get to 10. I want to get to double figures before Guffs does. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, that's pretty much going to happen.
Well, it can on the L. It can on the L. It can under the L's. You're 9, mate. So 9 losses. So you could on the L side, didn't it? So that I need to get 10 W's before you get 10 L's. The race to 10, bro. But yeah. But all jokes aside, the draw was a fair result. It went a week that I don't think any of us wants to celebrate or care about, as we will see later on, FPL wise. But again, the good thing at the moment is even if FPL isn't working out the way we want it to work,
Guffs is still losing. Yeah.
I wasn't going to say that, Guffs. I said enough when I said the race to 10.
I'm rampant.
The Arsenal. It's like sometimes I look at my FPL team and I think, but at least Arsenal won. So that's my little compromise for myself. But on that compromise, it's a lot. I'm not going to lie, it's a lot. Because you guys know what I did. Anyone that saw the social media this week, I captained your careers, which I will go into later, but that frustrated me. That frustrated me a lot. But anyway, Guffs. We've got one more game week here before the international break. So it's either you win this one or you're going to be on 10 losses. So I think you can knuckle down and focus this week to try and to avoid that. Do you know what I mean? That's what I would say. But forget that right now. Maybe you're getting distracted. Maybe he's getting distracted, isn't it? He's running. He's got his Guffs on the ground going on now. So he's got it. He can say he's focusing on that maybe. And while we're on that subject, how's that going, my guy? How's the interaction with the fans going on that?
Yeah, it's hello to you both, first and foremost. Thank you for that, very warm intro, Yeah, Guffs on the ground. It's going well. I'm sure that most of you watching the show, or hopefully most of you watching the show, would have seen the footage. Went to the Arsenal last week, which was really good to see. The fans were great, actually. Really sort of happy and up for the game, and it was really good to sort of speak to the fans. Lots of people who came over to me and spoke to me, and apologies to some people that I've filmed and spoke to who didn't actually get onto the video. There was too much to put on there, so next time I'll get you.
Oh, you're selective.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it short and sharp. You know what I mean? I don't want it to drag on too much, but
Guffs' director's cutting that, yeah.
So unfortunately, some guys didn't make the cut, and I'm probably hoping to be on the podcast. But next time I'll catch you, and we'll hope get you on the show next time. But yeah, it's going really well. This week I'm going to be going to West Ham, Burnley, back to the East End. You know what I mean? Back to the roots. So I'm going to go and watch that game and. To the fans, so if you're down there this weekend, West Ham fans watching the show, come find me. You'll see me with my orange top on the mic and red ham, easy to find. Come to me and we'll talk in it and see your thoughts and feelings about FPL and all things in between. But yeah, all good.
So on a serious note, the orange hat is going to be the trademark everywhere you go. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, if it was May, probably not. But but it's cold right now, so yeah, probably for the next few months the hat's gonna be definitely on my head because the weather's changing, and yeah, so that's what's gonna be.
So how are you finding interviewing people? Actually being on the camera.
Do you know what? I've got to be honest with you. People that know me will know that I'm not someone that really likes to necessarily be out there like that. So. It is a little bit out of my comfort zone initially to sort of go out there and to approach people and speak to them and stuff. But I think every week that goes by, it gets easier, and I'm actually really enjoying it now.
You look like you come alive out there. Like, lots of combos. It seems like there's loads of banter going on.
Do you know what? Jokes aside, we all us in here talk football all the time, right? And I think once you kind of engage in a convo about football, it's very easy just to flow and go with it. The hard part, I guess, is just trying to kind of not appear to be some sort of salesman, because there are some people that kind of are a bit wary about what's this guy doing and stuff. But once you kind of get past that barrier, people are very friendly and open to speak and want to kind of give their views. And this game we play, FPL, is a huge game. There's millions of people playing this game, millions are playing in the UK. So I think it's nice for these people to have a vessel to kind of give their opinions on FPL, which maybe it wasn't out there before. So I think hopefully we can be that sort of vessel for these people to kind of give their feelings about FPL and all that kind of stuff. So
You're not a salesman, but a politician.
I'm a humble politician, if you want to call me that. But no, I'm a football fan who loves this game, and I'm really enjoying, engaging with the community and the people. And hopefully I'll at some stage come to a ground near you. I'll be going around the country at some point. So
from watching you, your next one's surely got to be Newcastle. You love there apparently.
Listen, Newcastle's a great city. Do you know what I mean? Don't upset that Newcastle fans, man. Newcastle.
I'm not, but you said you hated them on screen. I
was gonna say for the people.
I was kind of shocked because I remember you having big issues with me. You was contorted in your spirit that I disliked Newcastle.
Yeah, and your reasons for not liking Newcastle are different to mine. You know what I
mean? No. But you said you loved them. You said you liked them.
No, I like the fact that they're a different way of playing football. I don't like everyone playing the same way. I think that you need that.
No, but you said you like them. Like, how do you go from liking them to you hate them?
Again, you kind of remix it. You're kind of remixing my words a little bit.
I'm not. Remember, we do this online, right? So the receipts are there.
Please,
Also,
No, but they
remember
are
that
I do
we've had
remember that
years of
combo.
next week, bring the receipts, yeah, and you will see what I said. Okay?
and
What I
I'll
said
see what you
was,
said.
I like the fact that they play a different way of football. Okay, and it kind of harkened back to old school football. Let's have it physical. It's a man's game. I appreciate that. So I think that's
All right,
needing in the game.
so if you think it's needed and you appreciate it, what don't you like about him? Because I did think the same thing, so I'm gonna be real. When I saw that comment, I was like, I swear you two had a debate when you was talking about it, and it was on one of our shorts where you couldn't
We've
understand.
also got to remember that we have debates offline about this. He gets upset offline about me not liking Newcastle.
But you know what? He might just be the generals, I don't know, innit? Like Guffs comes
He's
out,
a politician, isn't it? Man of the
yeah,
people.
like he said.
Look at his
that was
face.
an accidental. Look, it feels hot, innit? Like,
Yeah,
at all,
gonna
man.
start calling you Chameleon Guffs.
Comedian
innit?
Guffs,
Accidental bench boosters, all wrong captain.
Chameleon
I
Guffs,
didn't mean
innit?
that.
Always changing.
Dodgy guy. And you know what? Talking about the man of the people before we move on, I've been seeing this people eyebrow you've been doing. Yeah, that one. But is that why you got the turtleneck on today? Because I remember The Rock when he when he had his little show and he had the turtleneck picture. Do you remember it?
I do remember, yeah.
So, is this what you're
like a lesbian baby mother? Wow.
You know what? This
That's the picture as well.
I'll be honest with you. This jumper.
Have you got a bum bag as well, Guffs?
bum bag? No, never that.
Yeah,
With
to
the
go
full
with the
fit.
turtleneck.
That was his full look.
And denim jeans, isn't it?
Never that. Don't hate the look.
Is it new? It looks like it's scratching your neck.
Do you know what? I'm gonna lie to be real. But you know what? The truth is, my house is cold right now. Do you know what I mean? Like I got one of those wives who are tight to rail, so I want to put the heat in it. So like, just blitz.
You gotta take control of your household, man. But anyway, let's move on. Yeah, let's move on.
You one's in there.
Hey, rude boy, you're the one saying online that your wife this and that.
Hey, relax.
Man up a bit. But anyway, look. All jokes aside, it's a good look. I like the interaction with the fans. Hopefully, some of them do get to see themselves on the.
Before you go on, one last thing. I'm taking requests on music as well. So like, people watching this show, if you got any requests on the music to play during the Guffs on the ground, hit us up and let us know. Do you know what I mean? Because looking for inspiration for the intro track. So yeah, but carry on.
Okay. Well, seems like you're mic hungry and you ain't been able to host in a while. So let's just go over to you and start with your views on your team this week.
Do you know what? I'm at a point where I'm bored even talking about this right now. I mean, it's just dead, bro. It's just dead. I mean, so much things went wrong this game for me. From taking out Gyökeres, who scored, obviously, who I thought he might score. I brought in Baltimore, who came off the pitch at halftime with nothing. At least your guy scored a goal before he came off. You know what I mean? My guy came off with nothing.
That's your view of things. But we'll get to mine.
Haaland obviously punished me full effect with the 2 goals. Ndiaye, I play him, he does nothing. I put him on the bench, he gets points. It's all around a mess. And 5.5 million in the world is just stinky, man. That's ridiculous. That's got to change quick. So it's an all-round stinker. 50 points when people are scoring 90s and 80s is just nowhere near good enough. And to be honest with you, I'm at a point now where I'm just kind of like at a crossroads in terms of should I just kind of just go all in and just do a -12 or what I do and just get my team right? Because there's so much I want to change my team and I'm trying to inch towards it by doing
Ginnels.
That it's actually I'm just losing more and more ground week after week, and it's just getting silly now. So yeah, it was a very, very poor game week. It could have been a decent week had I put Haaland captain, had I played Ndiaye, I probably would have a similar points to you guys right now. But I mean, as you really said at the start of the show, mid-60s ain't really nothing to shout about, given that there are people getting 80s, 90s anyway. So I clearly haven't got the right mixture right now, and I need to sort of change things. So
I think you're being harsh. Like, many of your team did score. Like, it's just in a few areas it didn't. And obviously, the fact that Volta didn't do what we were expecting him to do, but it was the logical kind of choice. Like, it's not to say necessarily you putting captain on him was the right thing, but it was the right choice to have him in the team, right? Like, he's in decent form, the same as Rodgers. So it's a difficult one. I think it's hard across the board because a lot of the times, like, we're coming here every week, and the reality is that it's some defender that randomly scores a lot. Like, for instance, the Arsenal goal this week was a dream for many people, right? Because they had Gabriel and they had Gyökeres. So it's it's a strange one, but it's not that your team didn't score, right? Like, you got clean sheets from a couple of people and so on.
It's the right combination, you're right, because you've got 2 clean sheets there. If you had dropped Rodgers and had Endai and Captain Haaland, you'll be hosting this game week. So it's just
but my point is that, like, looking beyond just this rivalry we have between the three of us, I'm seeing 80s and 90s. Like, my team was never going to get that. So, that's what I'm looking at, like, beyond just obviously breaking match.
Okay. So your future plans, because I'm not trying to, obviously we like a bit of banter and stuff like that. But you used the word hardcore last week, which obviously people associate to me doing minuses. And you've now just said you feel like doing like a whole like reshuffle of your team and potential minuses here and there. Is this another one of your comments that you actually take, that you just commenting on, or is it something you're looking at seriously? Or?
No, I'm looking at it seriously. The only thing that I mean, I think Gyökeres being injured right now changes things a little bit, in the sense that I think many people like yourself who hold Gyökeres are probably looking for someone to bring in, right? So I don't have that problem that maybe some have in that respect. And we obviously got an international break coming up as well. So it would probably be wise for me to kind of just get to that point in a week's time, and then have the whole 2 weeks and can see who's fit and X, Y, and Z. But I'm certainly not happy with certain players in my team. I'm not happy with the shape of my team. I'm definitely going to go a bit more defensive in terms of my setup. It just seems too logical to have maybe at least 4 defenders on the pitch, because they're getting the points week in and week out, and there's a lot of data now to suggest that is the way to go and the formula to go with. Doesn't make sense having 3 strikers, in my opinion, on the pitch, because no one's really banging other than Haaland. So I think defenders and midfielders have got so many more ways to gain points that it just seems logical to have more of those guys on the pitch. So yeah, I'm going to reshape my team going forward. Who those players are going to be coming in, I'm not quite entirely sure yet. I'm going to think about it, but I'm probably going to do at least a -8 next few game weeks.
In this game week, you mean in the next game week, or are you talking about after the international break?
Probably after the international break.
Okay, so this game week you're potentially not doing minuses.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm just trying to be transparent for the audience before they do actually start to really, the politician side. But yeah. Okay. So you're going to try to hold out for the international break?
Yeah, unless something happens this week. I mean, obviously I've got Ekatike, who is playing against Madrid. I think Isak is back to full fitness or nearing it. So we'll see what news comes out over the next few days. That might change my opinion potentially. So yeah, I might make one change perhaps potentially, but I am not going all in this game week. That's for sure.
Fair enough. All right, big man. Obviously, by rights, it could be any of us second, as we drew. But over to you.
Yeah, my team is unfortunate, but the trend that I've been setting over the past couple of weeks, so it's a red arrow today. With regards to different things and how I saw things, the midfield just didn't do enough for me over this week, and nobody could have told that Voltamade was going to have the stinker that he did. So I was hoping against hopes that they were going to say it was due to injury or something like that, but it wasn't. It's just simply that he didn't play well and he decided to make changes. And it's weird to me. A lot of Premiership managers now seem to be playing Football Manager in real life, like taking up star players half time and so on. But it is what it is. Semenyo, he looked like he was in a few good things, but he blanked again. Then Gyökeres was frustrating as well, him coming off, and when it looked like he was having one of his better games. The set and forget that I've done with Haaland has bore through it again, so can't complain about that. And Vicario, he did well, considering how under the thumb they were in that game. He got me various save points and so on. So all in all, could have been worse, but it is also frustrating to be looking out there and seeing some of the scores that people are bringing in. And I can see that I talk about the logical thing to be doing on a regular basis. I know what it is. And because my strategy has been to build up some transfers so that I can do 3 or 4 at the same time, I keep holding fire. And as you know, I discussed possibly going a free hit route last week. However, I've looked at it and I've seen the team that I would have had. The reason I didn't go with it was because I would mainly have been transferring in only, say, 3 or 4. It would have more been 3, and you're really looking at people at the back and so on, which to me didn't make any sense. And the reality is, when I look at the variance that there would have been between the two teams that I had, like you give or take 1 or 2 points. So it was a good thing that I held off. But that said, it's becoming frustrating trying to have this patient strategy that I have at the moment in order to acquire more transfers, because there are things that I can see that I need to do. So yeah, I'm definitely. I remember earlier in the season, I remember looking at one of Guffs' posts where he was looking at a red button and he was really holding back from hitting it, and that's kind of been me over the past 2 weeks. But we will see where we go to this coming game week. All will know that I generally don't like to do anything amazing just before an international break and just after it. So again, I'm definitely at that stage of I'm looking at the red button thinking, do I do it? Do I do it? Do I do it? But yeah, that's me in terms of the assessment for where the team was and what it did. What I will say for everyone, that I did warn that Newcastle, when they play away from home, and it's more than 75 miles away, it's a long day. I just didn't expect it to be as long as it was for Voltamade.
Yeah, it was a bit of a dead game week for Newcastle. Gone nuts.
So you're saying that you're going to be pretty reserved this game week too, you think, for your next moves?
Genuinely, it's a toss of a coin, depending on what I hear injury news wise. So obviously, Gyökeres is where he is at the moment. We don't know. It sounds as though it's going to be at least until after the international break. Let's hear what some of the press conferences come in with. When I look around at my team at the moment, I can see swaps for different people that I've got. So I will be playing Juff in the next game week. Not sure whether I want to chance it with Burn because, again, they're away to Brentford. It's more than 75 miles away from Newcastle. So it is what it is. And with Brentford, we know they've got an attacker that is a bit all over the place, but he can score random goals, which will kill anything that Burn does unless he goes and gets an assist or a goal. I feel that, for instance, Ndogi is now coming back into the fray, especially with the misdemeanors of Mr. Spence. I would imagine that he's dropped and Ndogi plays. But like I haven't even really looked at that fixture, and we all know the scenarios with reindeers. He continues to go under the radar, not doing anything or returning points for anyone. So there's a good few things for me to think about. But in terms of, am I really going to hit the button? Am I going to do anything amazing? I think probably not. Although I may bring some of the transfers forward.
First. Guess that leaves me. As you both said, we've all got 3 red arrows this week, so it wasn't much to write home about. As Guffs pointed out, it's all about the league as a whole, and I'm not feeling my ranking. I tried to be brave this week, and for the first 45 minutes of the 3 p.m. kickoff, I was feeling like I was made a genius move. So let's start up top. I said everyone, could potentially score, because I said João Pedro would score in the last episode. He did. Guaranteed that Haaland would score, and he did too. But I just felt like it's a good week to try and go against Haaland. And after 5 game weeks of no goals, I just thought, you know what, I'm going with Gyökeres. I've been backing him, and he got on the score sheet. He was looking explosive in the sense of his best game, should I say, so far in an Arsenal shirt. Could have had 2 assists if Saka could just finish his chances, but unfortunately our star boy, his lights were a bit dim. But yeah, to be honest, I was a bit devastated because I was really happy with what I was seeing from Gyökeres, and I felt like it was a genius move because no one else would have. I thought no one else would have captained him, and then for him to not come out in the second half, it put a downer on my weekend because I just knew Haaland would definitely score 1 at least, so that pissed me off, and I felt that if he had played the second half the way he was playing, he would have got me more points. Then to get over it, and I'll come back to him when I go for the rest of my team. But yeah, my midfield, no one did nothing. As you can see, the whole back line, obviously Raya will always pick up a clean sheet because Arsenal, everyone's got someone from Arsenal, so it count as that in the back line. But Gay, he came through for me and got me a little bit of points that I desperately needed. But back to Gyökeres and potentially what I'm doing and have done. As you know with me, I'm very direct and open. And I said last week, if I was a captain Gyökeres and he flopped for me, he'll be gone. Man got a goal. Should have had 2 assists, like I said, but which ain't down to him. But he came off at half time. I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed. Like I even put a post up on my Insta saying I was brave. I can't watch the game. And then as it started, I was like, oh my God, I made the right decision. Everything was looking good. And then man didn't come out in the second half. So
you get that Chris Wood treatment from you.
He's gone. He was gone before I knew he wasn't going to make it. I thought that they'll rest him in the Champions League, and then he'll play this weekend, which he still could. But from what I'm hearing now, he's not going to be back until after the international break. But either way, he was gone on Saturday. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was pissed. I just thought, I've waited for... Imagine holding out 5 game weeks. Man's done nothing. It's Burnley and Sunderland. The 2 games I've been waiting for, and you play 45 minutes and now you're out of the next one. Get out of my team. So immediately, for me, it was just like, you're out, you're gone. So when it came to the evening, I just looked at what I wanted to do, and I just made a couple changes, made some readjustments. Like you said, it's international break, so I don't want to go crazy. But I don't like those things there, innit? I can't wait all this time for you to play 2 games and then you play 45 minutes and then Haaland gets 2 goals. And the worst thing is, and this says no excuse, this is just what happened, I had second thoughts on doing the Gyökeres captaincy, and I was like, maybe I should just go to Haaland for safety. But obviously the deadline was passed, so I had no choice. but then it looks like it was the right choice anyway. And then when it turned out to be the wrong choice, I just said, you know what, he's gone. I've been waiting for these 2 games. There's no point keeping you now. Even if you play against Sunderland, you're gone.
How are you both feeling about Semenyo?
Well, I'm not getting rid of Semenyo right now. I think he's been in great form. He's been overachieving, but at the same time, you know, can't score every game. Like, you know, even Haaland didn't score last week. So, like, you know, if you want my real advice, and this is me speaking to everyone, the viewers and that, why would you get rid of Semenyo now, even if he's going to have tough games or not, when you can get rid of him later when he's going to be travelling for the African Cup of Nations? So for now, he ain't a priority to get rid of. If you look at my team, bro, I've got Reindeers, I've got Kudos, who I've got question marks over. Pedro just scored. Luckily, I kept him. Hopefully, I don't know if that's going to make him go on a little run. But yeah, I've got a few things I want to do as well. But yeah. But with Semenyo and Kudos, I've got my eyes on them. So just because they could be going off in 5 or 6 games, how many it is, they could come out before. Because there's players that I'm looking at too on my watch list that I'm just thinking, it might be interesting to do some swaps. But, you know, there's so many different choices you can make. Like I said, I'm not trying to take hella minuses right now. So, got to chill out. But obviously, I think my approach is a bit more ruthless in a sense. If you piss me off or you're doing the wrong thing, you're gone. And obviously, Arc, you're a bit more, you know, you play in different various ways, but you use your stats too. So, like, let's quickly talk about your stats for this week, you know. Where are you going with your stats for this week? What's your plans?
Yeah, this week I am looking at something that is a little different. So I'm looking into moments versus momentum, what the differences are and what they mean for FPL in short. So when you look at it from a momentum point of view, obviously that can be form in short, but there's also context to all of that. Looking at moments is more of a structural thing. So you expect to get repeatable moments once you've got that structure in place. And what I'll be trying to do when we go through the segment, which will be out on Thursday again at midday, is ultimately show what that means, where we're seeing these things happen in real life, and what that means in terms of you trying to identify that and how you can get ahead of the curve. So obviously, if there are any questions or anything like that, hit us up on the YouTube channel. If not, you can find me direct on all social platforms under the same name at FPL_arc. On any of them, I'll holler back at you. For instance, if you've got any particular questions or something is out of sync for you, it doesn't make any sense.
So look out for that, people. I guess it's time for the big games. The big game of the week is going to be City Liverpool. That is a serious game. You know, it can have an impact on the league. It can have bragging rights for the two teams. Both teams, I suppose, for me, I think City's been on a bit of an up. Liverpool's been struggling. Slot versus Pep. An interesting one. I guess starting a few Guffs. What's your view on this one?
Yeah, they're both. I don't know I mean, I don't think you can say they've turned the corner quite yet. They both obviously won their last games. I think City looked quite good against Bournemouth, to be fair. I watched that game. And the first half in particular, I thought they played really well and created lots of chances. City are generally pretty good at home. And Haaland is a monster at home as well. So I see City as being the slight favourites in this game. You know, Liverpool, I'm still not quite convinced by them. They won against Villa, but for the first half, they were very lucky not to concede a goal Villa had a lot of good chances and didn't quite put them away. And in the second half, Liverpool came on top. So I think it'd be an end-to-end game. I think both teams will approach it as a game they need to win. And ultimately, I think that City will have the edge in this game. I'm going to go for 3-2 City in this game. I would like a draw as an Arsenal fan, but I think City will just edge it in the end.
Okay. You are?
I'm not too dissimilar to Guffs' thought process on the game. I think it will be end-to-end. I think if you look into it, both teams concede a big chance every 22 minutes. So it's destined for it to be
interesting.
Quite a back and forth game. It would be quite basketball. And I think, weirdly, their styles mean that it will be a good game. So Liverpool, for the possession they have, and Son, I think they've got about 62% possession average all season, but they're not really good at second balls. So when they lose, they don't respond in a way that will actually get them back up the pitch. I didn't think that City were that good against Bournemouth. I thought they were efficient, but they're not the polished City that we're used to or that we know. And ultimately, I've said it all throughout this pod series, City seem to have two players to me. They have Doku and they have Haaland. Outside of that, I see struggles. Although, to be fair to Foden, like the way he has been playing in the pockets recently, I can't see him continuing to play like that and not getting some just rewards for it. Looking at Liverpool, the issue with Liverpool will be, I think you touched on it before, Guffs, a couple of weeks back, some of the areas around their defence. I know we differ on it because I think that some of their issue is just conversion in the midfield, but their fullbacks do create weird blind spots for them to deal with, which, for instance, a Foden can link up in the pockets and so on. If he can get Cherky's work rate up, then you've also got somebody else that can conduct and use those pockets to the advantage. And obviously you have Haaland there. It doesn't matter what defenders are coming up against him. Like, he can make them look silly. So in terms of where do I see it going, I say it often, but I see a draw with this, but a high scoring draw.
Fair enough. I want to draw. Sorry,
I think both talisman will score. So I think Haaland and Salah will score.
I want to draw as an Arsenal fan, because that would be nice if we beat Sunderland and then those two teams draw. Haaland definitely will score. I think if I'm going to pick a winner, I'd pick Sunderland. I mean, don't know why I said that. Arsenal's on my mind. I'd pick City. Proper Arsenal fan, me. But yeah, I'd pick City. I actually think City's going to win. I think they'll maybe 2-1 City. So I think now that Salah's actually scored, you could be right in the sense that Salah scores on another goal, so it'll be 2 Premier Leagues and league games in a row. But in reality, I just think City's going to win this game. I just have that feeling. I'm not been impressed with Liverpool defensively. I've mentioned it from the very first episode, and I think the form that Haaland's in and the way that they play to feed Haaland, he's going to give the centre-backs a hard day. So, yeah, I would say City.
Yeah, no, fully can see that. It's
It brings me to the question, is it, because I made a mistake this week and Guffs made a mistake this week going against Haaland. But before we go into the captain choices, I suppose even though this is the big game and it's a clear big game, we should talk about another, good game on paper.
On paper, off paper, mid-table clash, mate. Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, there's another big game, so to speak, and don't know. What's your views, Guffs? What do you think is going to happen then?
It's another pick or mix game for me. Not convinced by either one of these sides. I know Man United are going to go 4 games without losing, which is obviously huge for them. It's been a long time since they can say that. But Spurs are at home. But Spurs were poor last week against Chelsea. I'm not convinced at all by Spurs' attackers. I think Ark might have said last week that he just finds their team quite meaty, and I agree. I think they have a very meaty team, and I think they're quite overrated in terms of some of the players that they have. I think this will be a tight affair, but I think it'll be a different kind of game. I think this will be more the other end, so I can see a 1-1 or 1-0. I think both teams struggle to score, or convert their chances. Neither team really has a potent striker. Man United probably did have a better job at kind of creating chances, and I think they might be able to kind of create some chances given they can play in the break. So there could be some space in behind for them to hurt Spurs. But I see it's been quite a tight game, and I'm going to go for 1-1 in this game. 2 teams that are just scrappy, and I don't think it'd be a very good game to watch. But yeah, that's where I sit.
Okay.
Well, as Arsenal fans, we shouldn't be wanting to watch any Middlesex game anyway. But that said, I think it is going to be a tight game. My thought process is United will win 2-1. My logic behind all of it is the way that Middlesex play now is a lot more tighter and compact, right? So it's really going to be about how somebody like a Paulinho does against the 210s of United. So if he has one of his worldy games where he's just destroying and shin kicking in the same way that Casado does, then maybe they'll be able to get something out of the game. But I do think with United, because they have that transitional threat, I think it'd be quite interesting. Like also when you look at Middlesex in comparison to like where they were last season and so on, they average fewer shot creation moments as well per 90 minutes. So it's just a bit drab. So yes, Guffs is right. Last week I described them as just a bit meh. I didn't even want to make a prediction per se, but it's more that they're in transition. They're trying to work out the new style that Frank obviously wants to have them playing in. And for him, he's not safety first, but he's traditional in that when you ain't got the ball, get compact, etc., that kind of thing. And I think what that will lead to is opportunities for United, because the only thing they can do is transition. They want to do that long ball and let's go. And then I suppose you also got the Mbumo factor in it. Is he actually going to pay back the man that made him? Are you going to leave one on him? And so there are a few things. But that's generally my thought process is that United will win. I think Tottenham will nick a goal. But yeah, I think United will win 2-1. Could even possibly 3-1.
Okay.
I think
Me
Kudos gets...
personally, you better do. Or he might be gone next. But yeah, for me, I see both teams scoring. Unlike Guff, should I say, I don't think it's going to be like a 1-0 or nothing like that. If I'm honest, I see both teams going for it. I feel like United have been a bit better recently. But I think Spurs are going to have to play with a bit more pride than they have been. I think they're going to be more up for it. It's a big game for them. I think they're going to want to bounce back. I think they're going to want to try their best. And you did mention something that I forgot about. And Bomo going back against his old manager. There's potential there for Frank to get a hug at the end of the game, unlike this game week, from his old Foe,
Yeah.
his old colleague. But talking about that, for those that have been following from the start, I usually do Donut of the Week. This week I've missed a few games, I can't lie. So I haven't had time to even review all the games and have a official Donut of the Week. But I will say this very quickly. The way that Frank got buoyed off by Spencer and VDV, and they lost. If I had to give a donut of the week to anyone, it would be him. Because if I was the manager, there's no way you're doing that to me on national TV, and I'm cool with that. And I want to see if they both are benched or not in the next Prem game.
Yeah,
I know he's got a European game,
but one got benched in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Spence got benched, but he hasn't got any other option but to play VDV at the moment, I guess.
So then I wouldn't have made they apologized to me. I'll make them apologize on live TV, because you didn't buoy me off behind the scenes. You buoyed me off on live TV. So you think you're playing a game.
We see the state of you when somebody doesn't score in your FPL team. You're like, he's out there.
Right.
Get him out.
Do you know what? But I've got a slight view in that. Like, quickly, I'll say, like, yes, you shouldn't buoy manager off, but I'm not really with this kind of like. I think it's a thing that's crept into the game in the last few years, where suddenly the manager wants to come on the pitch and wants to kind of like, talk to the team and talk like, get in the locker room. You lost the game 1-0. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, clap the fans. But I don't really understand this kind of this new thing
But
where.
that's all he went on to do, though.
But
What did the players to go and clap the fans, and they buoyed him off because he asked them to do that. That's
I just think, I'm not defending Spence, but what I'm saying is
Sounds like you are.
no, I'm not at all. It's not about Spence. It's about the manager putting himself in a situation where these things can happen. You're talking about highly emotional athletes who just lost the game.
Be frightened to go on the pitch.
I'm just saying.
Oh, you're the manager. Listen, you're the manager, yeah? You go onto the pitch because you do at the end of every game, and you shake your player's hand and opposition hand. I'm the manager. I'm walking on the pitch, and my players are walking past me, and I say to them, yo, unlucky, whatever, we're going to chat in the changing room. You don't just give me no move and all. Who are you talking to? I'm the manager, bro. Like, I might get suspended from the club in my reaction to what I do to you. Me personally, I don't think there's no excuse in that. It's not like he went up to them and he was pointing in their face, telling them off, and then they said move. He was just like,
that's Pep does them kind of foolishness where like he'll run on the pitch and start screaming at man in his face. All sorts
but he
of
wasn't
stuff.
doing nothing like that. He just got buoyed off.
My point
no
is
defense behind it. Yeah, there was no defense behind it. He got buoyed off, and like, okay, he's playing BB. Like, I would have dropped them both. I don't care, me personally. But anyway, look, my point is he got buoyed off, and I didn't have time to do the donut of the week, but he's my donut of the week because he got buoyed off. But moving on from that, back to the point, I think it will be 2-2. I think they're both gonna get goals, and as Arc would like to say, Desmond 2-2. Do you know what I mean? That's your little saying. I think it's gonna be a 2-2 draw. And in the real big game, I think City will win 2-1. But like, on that, let's get into our captain choices, because we've talked about Haaland will score. He's been a safe bet, and if you've gone against him, you've been punished. Even when your guy's looking good and he's looking like he's going to deliver, he comes in at half time. Or even when it's a pace that your guy's been in form and all of a sudden he has a poor first half and gets taken off for alternatives. It seems the formula is keep Haaland as your captain. You can't go wrong, which is what Arc did. Guffs, what are you saying? I know there's people that you can choose from. People could go against Haaland this week too because of who he's playing. What's your take? What's your views?
See, I hate being in his position, because when you're low in a table and you've got to make up ground, every risk you take puts you deeper into the fucking hole. So it's a situation where, like, it doesn't make sense to go against Haaland. I mean, that's pretty obvious. He's the only one that I feel confident will return this game week. Having said that, they are playing against Liverpool, and Liverpool have been shaky. But I think because it's a big game, I mean, I know that's a 3-2 Man City, but if I'm thinking of trying to create a story in my head to go against Haaland, then the story would be when they're playing with Liverpool. Liverpool are away from home, will potentially play a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? Stability, and won't press pride or anyway. But maybe can limit Haaland to few chances. But honestly, I see Haaland scoring at least one goal, possibly two.
If you think 3-2,
yeah, I just do. I just don't.
Who's scoring those 3 that in Haaland?
I think if it was at Anfield, I feel different. But the fact is, at City's ground, I think that he's going to score. So it has to be Haaland. I can't really afford to go against him, to be honest with you. If there was going to be someone else that I'd go for, I probably would go for potentially as a wild card, like a defender from Arsenal, maybe. Because as you can see from the thing, Gabriel is an example of someone who's just been returning amazing points week in, week out. I think the last 5 game weeks he's got at least 9 points. So, he's someone who's kind of underlines what I said before about defenders being the way to go into your formation. He's getting big points. Since he's only 18 points behind Haaland, which is incredible. So, but long story short, I think it's Haaland for me.
Fairs. Arc?
Yeah, so I don't want to be circular on it. I've been clear that Haaland's a set and forget for me. And the one change would have been against Villa. That was my point where I was going to check in and work out what do I think needs to change from here. As you know, I'm chasing upsides, so looking at other potential captains is ideal for me to do at the moment, but the fixtures don't really give the opportunity. Like, yes, obviously Chelsea are playing Wolves, and Wolves are going to be licking their wounds, depending on whether they get a new manager in by the weekend or not. In terms of the managers that they're thinking about for that, they're talking about getting O'Brien back in, even talking about possibly Ten Hag, that kind of thing. I don't think those managers are going to O'Neill. Yes, O'Neill, not O'Brien, sorry. And I don't think they will get a bounce straight away, and I definitely don't think there's going to be a bounce this weekend. So looking around at some of the attacking options from Chelsea is not a bad thing. I did say earlier that I think Salah will score, but I don't know if Salah is a captain pick for now in terms of how much he costs, because for most people, in order to get Salah in their team, you probably need to do 3 or 4 different manoeuvres in order to do that. Bowen's a decent shout as well. I won't go into it now. From my perspective, Saka is a very good player. He's what we need at Arsenal from a talismanic type player, but he's woeful from an FPL point of view for me. So I definitely wouldn't be going down that route. That said, he'll probably go and score his first hat-trick now. But yeah, from my perspective, I don't think that captaining Gabriel on a weekly basis is going to be a good thing for people. But I see it. I've seen people do it. I saw somebody do it. They took their 24 and they were very happy with it. And I was very envious. Like I say, I can't go against the trend. He's obviously doing what he's doing. I think if you look at it now, Guffs was highlighting it about the points tally that he's got. I think if you look at, for instance, you take somebody like Romero into account, I think he's got 153 points for the whole of last season. Like, Gabriel's halfway there. It's 10 games in. Like, it's crazy. And imagine at the start of this season, we were saying, DEFCON doesn't matter, but those things are helping as well, because he's now becoming a DEFCON beast. He's getting the assist or the goal coming from somewhere, getting the bonus as well as his clean sheet. Like, yeah, it's a lot, because it feels as though he's the only person in the Arsenal defence that is getting DEFCONs, because everybody else, I think, I think when we were bantering about what's going on and son, we were talking and I was looking at him like, yeah, I've got Calafiori, and the reason I got him was for upside. But the issue you have with him is that there's no resting score that he can present, right? Like I think he was only on like 3 DEFCON before he got sent off before he went off, and I suppose that's the issue that you've got with the rest of the Arsenal fence, because Gabriel at the moment, he's like a man possessed. He's just doing everything.
Yeah, I still think Timber and Calafiori are good because they'll get potential assists or goals. But yeah, you're right. When it comes to DEFCON, they're not going to get as many as the centre backs potentially, especially Gabriel, who's all over the place. Look, I went against Haaland this week and I got punished for it. I'm still a bit bitter about it, but I've got players in my team that I'm tempted to go against him again, because with me, when I'm not where I want to be, I'm a risk taker. And I tried this week. It was looking good and it backfired. I might try again this week. I've got João Pedro still, which not many people have. He's got Wolves. Arsenal assets. I think in reality, can't do much more than that. But Haaland is just a safe bet, and everyone's going to have him. And if he does do bits against Liverpool, and I even said 2-2, so I see him getting both goals, it will annoy me that I win against him. And it's like, I'd like a draw. If only it can just be like 1-1, Haaland trying to clear a balls, Haaland on goal, and Van Dijk on goal, 1-1, that would be perfect. But yeah, I think being real, Haaland's got to be everyone's captain. I potentially may try to go against the grain, but yeah, that'll be a last minute thing. But
you and your Jedi mind.
Yeah, well, everything I've said realistically, I have done.
Come on
to be
and
fair.
tell everybody who their captain is going to be.
Well, yeah, this week I haven't said it, but I think it's obvious that everyone's going to go Haaland. I think most people will go Haaland. Even I think I'm going to go Haaland, but I want to go against the grain. So it's just a case of if I'm brave enough to do it again 2 weeks in a row and lose more ground if it doesn't work. But I've shown bravery before, right? So I'm essentially going to show it again.
All right.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if one of you, for example, if one of you two go against Haaland, because we already know with you said it, that you probably will go with him, and you have done. And with Guffs, the politician, even if he says it, it doesn't mean he's doing it, right? So it'll be interesting to see if he does.
I had Voltmader this week, bro. What are we talking about?
We're talking about this week, bro. Keep up.
And
we're talking about this week.
Talk about once you make declarations, you like to tell Autonic.
Thank you.
That.
Well, things change,
Politicians' answer. But anyway, let's move on. Let's get on to the mini league table. Gonna win, still top. Found out who he was this week. So yeah, you're doing your thing. You had the bravery to go for Jokeris captain like me. So I see what you're trying to do there. PK Blinders. Played a blinder. 99. Straight up into second. It's a serious amount of points. Posh 911 with the red arrow, but still there, top 3. And then you've got 2 green arrows in there, in it to win it. And next gen. So, we see 3 green arrows in that top 5. And obviously some people may have dropped out of that. So that's interesting. Total 676. Quite a bit of points. But it's early days. I'm still positive that I'm going to close the gap and climb. But those red arrows are not necessarily going to make people believe, but you will see. Bottom half of the table. Okay, so there's been I might have to stop saying you're a devil worshipper.
What a dead week he had though, man. Jesus.
23 is like you might don't quit. You know, there's always a glim of hope, as Glim, the team name Glim, showed when he climbed or she climbed off of the bottom. But yeah, I think there's been something recognised within that team name.
Yep.
And let Arc explain it, because I've been a bit harsh on it.
That's why it's the Evangelos. It's the Forest chairman. So I get that's the reason for it, and not the devilment that we were thinking about beforehand. And now we know it seems so obvious.
Yeah. Sometimes
So
it's staring at you and you don't see it. So.
One of my eye, yeah. But obviously that hasn't been a good week. Maybe they've taken my advice to heart and really done a set and forget of the whole team and just left it, and we're seeing what we're getting with it. But yeah, and as you said, Glimmer's been out of the bottom 5 for quite a while, so he or she is doing well.
I'm looking at the rest of the sorry, go on.
No, to be fair, my eyes were just drawn to the red arrows. Like
that's what, well, I was just gonna, before we even go back to that, on the right hand side of the page, I was gonna say Dead by game week 7 got a little green arrow to get off the second from bottom. So like, you know, let's see if you can get another green arrow next week and progress a little bit out of there yourself. Bit of a gap, so maybe unrealistic, but at least you got a green arrow and you're still trying to. But yeah, on us very quickly. 3 red arrows, not really representing the way that we should be representing. But hey, it is early days. There's going to be a lot of movement. Some people have chips, some people don't. Some people are brave, some people are not. It's early. Gonna win. You're still top. Well, you know, congrats to you. As we said earlier, the biggest point scorer. Huh?
I said PK.
Did his thing. 99, just short of the 100 mark. You know,
I don't think we've had 100 points yet, have we? Anyone?
No, I was gonna just say, like, I love it when I get triple figures, but it hasn't happened yet in this league. So, or for me, but in this league in general. 99, great week. Jumped yourself straight into the second place. So well done to you. But you know what? Obviously, we've come to that time. But Arc, rightfully so, as the joint point winner of this game week, regardless if we're happy with it or not. I think I appreciate the fact that you said, you know, I've got the most, so continue in the host's chair, but it was a draw. So over to you for the outro.
It's not a lot to say, my friend.
Look at this bromance going on here. Do you know what I mean? What going on here? What I mean? Just like
bromance. I don't even know why you're talking.
Do you know what I mean?
That said, we just need to again remind people that they want to keep on understanding and seeing this journey and watching us laugh at Guffs. Please remember to like and subscribe. Check out for the bell at the bottom. So you do that, and you'll see. But
just before we wrap it up, sorry. Bromance and all these funny noises, bro. Seriously, I reckon if I was you, if me and you drew or you two drew, you know, like there was many things we could do. You know, we can rock, paper, scissors, flip a coin, fight for it. What are we gonna do? So we just spoke about it, and you know, he's like, you know what, you've got the most wins. You just rep in the middle. But I have to respect the fact that we drew. So I'm only here because we agreed it. Now, don't get jealous because you haven't been anywhere near hosting in a while. It's cool.
I'm just letting fans know, you know.
Fans know enough. Fans know that if you don't host next week,
do you want to host?
You're on 10.
No, you host, bro. You host. Go on, fella. I mean, I guess we will see this.
Your attempt of comedy is weak.
You know what?
Focus on.
Ruling at that. Your skin's crawling because we don't lie. So we tell the truth and handle things as gentlemen and say, you know what? It is what it is. But you like to tell lies and be unclear.
No, I don't tell lies.
So, you know, like that's the reason why it feels odd to you. It seems weird. You're like, what why are they getting on?
I don't
Like,
tell lies.
you know,
Yeah.
No, he wants there to be tension, and he wants there to be like sell the show. But we've got enough comedy with you or your position in the league. So like, let's just focus on next week you hosting, because if you're not hosting and one of us is hosting, then that's 10 L's in 11 game weeks. Just understand that. So focus on your future. You get me? Don't worry about making little. Let me have a jab from down here, bro. Just focus on your team, innit? There's nothing like that going on over here. There's no bromance. It's just respect because we drew, and you get me, big man thing. That's it. All the humming and soft voices that you're coming with. That's cool, bro. Focus on your team, because if I see you on 10 losses next week, I'm gonna let you know about it.
I'm right here waiting, as always.
Truth be told, when I wonder what the future holds.